I think this will be the most useful AI go-to-market video that I have produced in the last year, where at the end of this video, we're actually going to go through full playbook for our company and go figure out what it looks like to get early results. So let me just go over at a high level what we're going to do today. We're going to develop a PQS and PVP for Jessica Asher, who works at a company called Medley. She has very kindly agreed to be the guinea pig for this public experiment. And my goal here is to see what does it look like if I agentify the whole damn go-to-market, like from scratch. And it only works for vertical SaaS companies and only certain vertical SaaS companies. Too many of these AI tools are like, we can do this for everything. So I'm going to show you the manual way that I'm going to do this, and you'll sort of see what that looks like. And then this is sort of a preview of the things that I will be attempting to agentify in the future. So we're working on it right now. It's going pretty well, surprisingly. All right. So let me just give you kind of a preview of what we're up to. So I'm going to take a brand, run it through a Claude project that I have, that you get some version of that if you buy my $1,000 course, Who to Target and What to Say. And we're going to vibe with the model a little bit. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take that and drop it into ChatGPT Deep Research to see if we can find 5 to 7 perfect leads. And the whole idea is that if this process works really well, then we're going to have agents execute on it. So why talk further? And let's get going. Also, thanks to Roland, Housecall Pro, one of my favorite growth folks. All right, first let's go over Medley. Build a flexible workforce, deliver better care. Generally, recruiting is really, really hard, but medical specifically, there's such a demand for folks. It's actually pretty good. And there's also really, it's a regulated environment. People need talent, basically. And so it's a good market to do this in. It's a double-sided marketplace. Usually HR stuff is really, really, really hard. So I'm going to try to do my best to not add any additional Jordan sauce. Just basically bake this in from the models. Do the full thing for. So again, because I'm trying to agentify this, I have a project in Claude that does all of my initial thinking for me. And then I have... then we're going to ChatGPT it. Now, one of the things I'm going to pull up my other screen is a prompt that is all about great deep research. Oh, also about cleaning my bike. You can't see this, but... All right. Okay, great. We got it. All right. So basically what this thing does is it goes and searches the web and understands sort of core positioning, value prop for facilities, for professionals. So we're just going to focus on the facilities because this is B2B. So we're going to make sure that the model is on track. And part of the concept of agentifying something does not mean that humans aren't involved. My goal is actually to be able to do this thing in 2 hours. Now, you're going to see me do it in like 20 minutes, but the end-to-end process in 2 hours, because I think you do need to kind of direct the models here. Yeah, ambulatory surgery center, this is great. Okay, hospital beds, fantastic. We also have some really interesting data inside of Claude Desktop here, which is the Mimi Labs data set. We did a whole headless PVP on it, but there's like just amazingly great data. So agency for health, like classification, there's just so much stuff in here. Demographics, who uses which providers. This dude's insane. He's like put together all this public healthcare data and put it in one place. So I can't even begin to sort of go over this. I think even if I paste it inside of Claude, which I'm actually going to probably do this in Gemini so that we have the context for the model. And the nice thing about Gemini is that it can take 1 million tokens of context window. So we're just going to say, we use a tool called Super Whisper. Let's pop that guy open. All right, what I want you to do is just in plain English, but also make sure to leave no stone untraced. Just describe each of these data sets, what they include. I don't need like every field, but this is going to be for another language model, so it should have everything that we need to be able to understand like the quality of the data. And if you have to go online, you can. I've included the URL, but I pasted everything that's in the data catalog. I think it should be everything that you need, but feel free to go online if you need to and just give me a complete, unabridged, totally specific summary about every single piece of data here that will be relevant. And remember, a model is going to consume this information. So, yeah, you should keep that in mind. This is just a particular data set that I think might be good. I don't know yet. Okay, nurse to patient ratios. This is actually really key. We probably can tell this. I don't know that they're going to find this. They probably can find this publicly. We're just kind of seeing what sort of public. Credential verification delays. I bet you we could tell that. Turnover, maybe. Yeah, probably. Yeah, this is why this business is amazing business, because of the short. It's just a good economy right now for staffing, specifically in healthcare. Yeah, this is great. I know a handful of businesses that are doing really, really well. Okay, let's see if it can find good data sources. A hospital compare a direct indicator of quality issues, often linked to staffing problems. Amazing, right? It's like, hey, here's the data set. Here's the data set. State staffing reporting direct staffing ratios showing understaffed facilities. Amazing. You can go determine this publicly. This is why I love healthcare. There's so much great data. OSHA workplace safety violations, also really fantastic. M&A expansion data, mergers create integration challenges requiring flexible staffing. This is kind of a go-to for a lot of the model. I don't usually love the M&A play. Joint commission, yeah. So accreditation issues, this is existential, right? You're not going to get accredited if you don't have enough nurses. There's also I think it's Medicaid, the federal one, will pay you more under certain circumstances if you maintain X or Y quality of care, which is great. Okay, so it's got multi-state integration, quality metrics. Let's see what the PVPs are. These are paying qualified segments, PQSs. Like running 3 different hospitals. Yeah. Okay, fine. Cool. But yeah, I don't like this money. I don't like the money thing. That's I think actually instead of like saying you're the bottom, just say, hey, we've done a market report of what people pay, which is kind of interesting. But I think, remember, you might just actually want to say, like, here's the kind of prevailing rate. And this company might have that internal. Remember, like, staffing is kind of hard thing. Mandatory overtime levels that, remember, you like predicting human behavior is hard. I don't know that I would do that. If the untapped local talent pool, if you really can determine that, like, that'd be really cool. Yeah, you unless you can tell if they're using an agency, I don't know. That feels hard. I would evaluate PVP Concept 5. Actually, I want you to kind of evaluate all of these from the lens of the recipient. I also am going to include information about Mimi Labs data, which I want you to consider. So go ahead and redo the PQSs and PVPs, but first evaluate them from the lens of a buyer. And then what I want you to do is come up with other ones here. And if you think the Mimi Data Lab set is useful, go ahead and do it. All right. So this is just a healthcare database that I have access to. So we're going to see if we can find good leads here. Yes. Fuck every time. Okay. This is not a problem. what we're going to do is we're going to copy this context out. You kind of have to do this with Claude sometimes, especially when you have new. Great. So I have a little thing here that captures my paste history. So great. Now I have everything I need to be able to create a new project. All right. Extended thinking, explanatory. All right. So basically, I'm just going to paste in the whole context here and start a new conversation so that Claude doesn't get upset at me. And then while we're in ChatGPT, this is a prompt that I created here to be able to find individual leads that match one of the playbooks that we created. This is kind of what the agentic process will look like here. And I'm just going to say, update this prompt for the company I pay. Actually, I'll do this. All right, I'm including a deep research prompt guide here, and then information about data sources and a data set for a company. All I want you to do is rewrite this prompt for this specific company. So what we're doing, I'm kind of double fisting here, but on the left, we're kind of finishing up the PVPs, permissionless value props, a message so good people would receive it, would pay to receive it, and PQS, paying qualified segments. So we're kind of finishing that up while we're getting ready for ChatGPT to do deep research to match that to find real good leads for Medley now to basically battle test the agent with real good leads and then let Jessica go and evaluate how well it did. Multi-site, okay. Okay, great. This is good. So basically what we're doing is we're evaluating it from the buyer's lens. This message make me defensive. Feels yeah, this is actually Claude is very good at this. This is interesting. This is what a good paid and qualified segment message looks like, where you're just talking about what you found. I'm not as interested in this one. This is actually really interesting. I don't know enough about the jargon here, but if I can tell that with the data. This is actually, this is crazy. if we could tell this is like really crazy. Okay, great. Okay, go ahead and create the PQS and PVP artifact now. This is basically an artifact that with the best PQSs and PVPs as evaluated from the buyer's lens. So look at them all, pick all of the best ones and create an artifact. Basically, I have a project here that has a standard artifact that talks about the types of stuff that I do. But what we're also going to do is as this thing goes, and I think I'm going to open up another Claude window here so I can watch it, because I do need to use the desktop. Oh, actually, this is interesting. I'm going to pause this thing here because I need to do this in the browser, which will make sense why I'm doing this in a second. Just make sure this is running. This thing takes a little bit to be able to create the artifact because there's a lot of HTML. Okay, great. So this is going now. Now I need to, on the desktop, just open a new chat here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to give it all of the context, just copying and pasting, which is, it doesn't matter too much here, but you'll see what I'm doing in just a second. All right, so you have some context now about this brand, and particularly I want to look at the reevaluated PVPs and PQSs. You also can connect to the Mimi database. I have it as an MCP server. So do you think you can actually find like 5 good quality leads, or like, can you actually compile this type of message from real data for a handful of like actually good targets? You also can go online to validate this information. But I'm wanting to see if in the Mimi Labs data set alone, plus your ability to access online, can we put together a artifact that has like everything that they would need to be able to go prospect into accounts? I've also given you a deep research template here, which you can take as inspiration. So when we create the artifact, you know what it should look like, just in terms of raw types of information, because we're going to have to be able to prospect directly into these accounts. And I'm hoping that we can find like 5 good accounts with the Mimi Data Labs, plus your ability to search online. And then you can blend that with actual people that we can go after. Can you now go figure out your plan to query the Mimi Labs database? You should have everything about it, and match that with the PVPs and PQSs that are most relevant to the buyer here. And then, like, before we create an artifact, just see if we can find good fit companies here that are well researched. And then eventually I'm going to ask you to go find leads for this company. But let's start there. So what we're doing, we got MCP server access. It's a local tool to be able to talk to this Mimi Labs data, which is, it's just a bunch of just really, really great healthcare data. We did a headless PVP, which is like, can we take this? The data is so good and so interesting. Can we take the data and develop a useful message and then go find the brand from the message? So I'm really excited to use that. Okay, I'm gonna do a lot of things in this video, so just hold my beer here for a second. I have this whole sort of playbook that it's just a nice way to explain what I do. All right, so, and I'll explain what I'm doing here with ChatGPT in a second. So what ChatGPT is doing is I have a standard deep research prompt here to go find leads. And I'm just asking ChatGPT, always use the O3 model to go and create a deep research prompt to see if just with public data we can find, ooh, great, yes. Always loud. Let me explain what's happening here. To see if we can find good fit leads for them that are based on the segments that we've identified. Now, what I was doing on the left here is just saying, yes, you can access Mimi Labs. I've already set up a local MCP server, so that just means that my desktop version of Claude can talk to the full database and it can write queries on it, and et cetera. So, so that's kind of what it's doing, and it's seeing if it can, just go find good fit leads. All right, let's look at ChatGPT while that's going. FlexiStat, Pain Hunter GPT, uncover 5 to 7 U.S. Canadian healthcare providers where Medley's marketplace is the obvious urgent fix to publicly documented staff pains. Amazing, right? 300,000 pre-vetted nurses, 85% of shifts filled in less than 24 hours. Amazing. Built-in scheduling, no agency markup. So basically it describes what this company does. Perfect fit company criteria. It's like, hey, here's greater than 2 service lines and census swings greater than 15%. What's the bed staff, annual labor spend, where's sort of the geography, and how is it going to find it? So it's like agency cost spike. I don't know how it's going to do that. Vacancy surge, so a large number of jobs, some regulatory pressure, so overtimes or fines. That's amazing. Regulatory pressure is great. Service disruption, right? They're going to report on that in the news. So even better, that means loss of dollars. And oh, great. If there's actual penalties, that's very fantastic. So this prompt is just really designed to be able to give an SDR everything in the good fit segment to go prospect. So before you even ever engage with me in this case, you can go see, did Jordan's thing actually work? Go prospect those leads and see if it worked. Eventually, I want to deploy this agentically and go test it out on your behalf. I'm not doing that today. I'm just going to copy and paste this here and then go tools, deep research, and then hit submit. And then we'll look what's Claude's still running here. You can tell by the little stop button here. All right. I would say, no, I would say like, I mean, unless you can determine that they are, you can go online too if you'd like ahead of time, but I would say that just where the pain is the most, probably the United States. I'd probably like to stick in the United States. No, I don't care if it's nonprofit, private chains, or a mix. Whatever they go after most, and so you might actually want to, go look first. Whoever they do the best with, where you see the most amount of good fits here. We should identify like the biggest, those that are in the most pain, where they could get, not just where this company can get the most amount of money, but who like really needs this now. And you don't have to exclude any verticals. Remember, we're going to start with the pain backwards. So do you have everything you need to run this deep research? I always tell ChatGPT to ask me questions if it needs to. And we're going to look at what Claude's doing on the right in a second. Ask me. It's funny. It never asks me more questions here once I've clicked the deep research button. Great. Yeah, it always starts. Great. So that's running now. Let's see what Claude has found out. Let's move me over here. Texas hospitals, acute staffing challenges. Okay. Well, it's kind of unfortunate that I have to wait till this is done. I try not to have Claude write the artifact right away, because all of these, the HTML means that you can hit your max pretty quick. So my guess is that once this artifact is over, Claude's going to be like, yo, I can't help you anymore. Like your content, your model, your context window is toast. We can't even, I can't continue on the conversation. So I almost never ask it to do the artifact until the very end. And also I always say, like, you are a mobile first designer. I have a project here that is really for the design. So I try not to do this, but it kind of went off the rail here. It has found a lot of companies, and this is long. So the idea here is that I'm going to be able to, before even, fortunately Jessica was like, hey, go for it, Jordan. But the idea here is to run all this stuff permissionlessly, like automate it. There will be a human that will do some massaging, but generally the kind of things you end up seeing patterns that you're like, oh, remove that, remove that, remove that. And so not only does Jessica now, she'll have a sort of AI GTM proposal that hopefully will help her think about how she would bring AI go to market. I don't know anything about her, what she's doing, so maybe she's way far ahead on her AI journey than I am. But hopefully it's like, this is how Jordan would bring AI in your organization. Okay, great. Let's actually look at this. Amazing. Documented staffing. CMS quality data combined real-time market. 5 Texas hospitals experienced severe staffing challenges. Amazing. Location, CMS rating 1 star, 5 readmission penalties, 4.2. Wow, this is incredible. Highest in Texas for 1-star facility. So this is like they're the most in pain. High nurse to patient ratio. Falls are common. Management blames staff. Most charge nurses have less than 2 years experience due to exodus. The employees in beds. Workload is beyond dangerous. Wow. Falls are common and management blames the staff. House supervisor. Wow, that's crazy. Ooh. We should actually go cite this. Came across and want to match the exact pattern we saw at 12 before they hit and currents. You're likely spending on preventable readmission and agency premiums. Facilities who address with flexible clinical specialists reduce readmission by 2 point. Wow. I mean, I don't know if they're going to have to, this is probably vibe made up. I probably would go a step further here and actually say, here are some good fit folks for your open positions. But this is pretty good. Wow. Transferring pregnant patients. Oh, August 2021. Wow. Yeah, this is like where you probably want to actually. So while the deep research is running, we're going to pop open a ChatGPT again because ChatGPT has the best sort of online models, um, and it's very O3 is specifically good at researching the web. What I want you to do is a lot of this is some of this is going to be internal data that I have access to via Mimi Labs, but I want you to go find like some of the quotes are like old. I want you to go find like links to the decision makers, their LinkedIn links, information about them. Basically, I want you to link as much actual live information as possible and focus on like today, August 2nd. And it's really important to bring back the link, the date that you access the information, the date of the information. Like, for example, there's a quote from a CMO of Parkland Health and Hospital System in 2021, but is that CMO even still there? So what I want you to do is just spend an ungodly amount of time like searching this. There are some things you might not be able to know, and really focus on the date and the quality of the information. I generally will pass stuff back and forth between models because Claude for sure is the most creative model, but ChatGPT works the hardest online. All right, this is good. So it's kind of great because now we have both the proposal, we have a really detailed Mimi Labs directed piece of information, and when I talk to Claude, I'm going to ask for it to include information if we haven't hit the context window. Oh, great. Oh, it's funny. It actually rewrote the deep research prompt, which is funny. It's not really what I intended it to do. Okay, this is great. What I want you to do is, I love the artifact. This is fantastic. Ideally, I'd love you to quote the exact specific things you found in the Mimi Labs data, so that the person that is prospecting into this account has an understanding of like the real live data as it exists in Mimi Labs and the opportunities. Also evaluate the PVP from the lens of the buyer, and if you have to make changes to make it more useful, and also like evaluate the bullshittiness of it. Make sure that everything that you have said is actually data driven with data that we have. So you don't have to make up, like, if you don't know that it's 2.1 percentage points within 90 days, like, don't say that. Just focus on their actual observable pain. You don't need to make a lot of quality claims about the current service. I'm also going to give you a bunch of additional data that I want you to include in the artifact and link. Basically include all the links that I have provided here. And it's really, recency is so important. Like you provided a quote from 2021. That's like 4 years ago. So presumably they've fixed it now. So we really want to make sure that we're talking to the Mimi Labs database, that we have a really good understanding of all of the actual like raw data, so you can include that in each of the prospects as well, so that we're not making things up. So like the 5 readmission penalties, like when were those penalties? What dates were they? Were they recent? So go ahead and redo this with all the additional information. So all we're going to do here is we're just going to make sure that the model, this is the nice thing about the MCPs, it's going to pull real data. Great. And then ChatGPT like found information here. I think if I just copy it, it won't. Can you actually just print the full links out for everything that you have found? I don't want you to hyperlink them. And Yeah, if you want to go online and spend some more time validating things that you didn't have a chance to, like go for that as well. But when you respond, I basically need you to redo this, and with any additional research, and print out all the links because I'm not going to be able to copy them as they're hyperlinked. Thanks. If I provide this to Claude, I think when you copy, it doesn't actually, like, it doesn't grab the HTML, so you have to have it print out. Same thing with like this type of information. So this is kind of like a nice little hack for Claude to have the benefits of ChatGPT's deep research. I mean, look, it spent 2 minutes searching the date that it was accessed, and oh, great, we're in the saving lives. We're in the saving lives business. Great quote. The famous is still attributed. Oh, Arco, yeah. Oh, wow. Spotlight still shows us facing vacancy gaps. Wow, this is a long period to face vacancy gaps for. Just going to wait on the models. I'm not saying that I'm faster than the world's smartest invention. I'm a little bit faster. Okay, great. Okay, great. Yeah, okay, but you actually had the LinkedIn profile links of the people. So did you include all the LinkedIn profiles? Yeah, just like, why don't you just go and do just the people LinkedIn profile finding? And do as much of that as you can. Wow, I didn't really mean for this to turn into such a long video. I was like, oh, this will be like a 5-minute thing. People ask me, like, which models do I use? So again, O3 for its ability to search the web. Deep Research 2. Those are the best deep research. The agentic tool is actually you can't see it here, but when you add a new thing, their agent is very fantastic. Gemini for the largest context window. Claude is probably the most creative, and it's the best at sort of synthesizing things it's never seen before. But Claude starts to puke really fast on like large context windows, which is sort of unfortunate. And you also can't pay your way out of it, which is a problem. I'd like to pay. I just would pay my way out of it if I could. So you kind of have to copy everything back into sort of a new session. And then I'll finish this. I'm going to create a doc that has all these links, but I will. Actually, I will send her these links, but I'm not going to share the links in the YouTube chat. No, I got to keep something. But you can. But if you buy my $1,000 course, Who to Target, What to Say, you will get a version of the Claude project that I use to create these proposals. It doesn't come with my very lovely voice. That you'll have to pay extra for, unfortunately, or just watch the obscene amount of YouTube videos that I publish. Does anyone watch? I hope that someone watches these 33 minutes. I had someone that's basically a professional YouTube editor is like, "What are you doing, Jordan? You need to have serious editing on your YouTube videos." But I think a very small percentage of people enjoy watching the longer videos. All right, let's see if ChatGPT. Oh, great. And I always like validate this, that these things work. Great. These are good. Fantastic. Don't hit my context window. Otherwise, I have to copy this in a new session. These CMS ratings might actually be from Mimi Labs. Oh, Meme Labs. That's cute. Mimi Labs, okay. Great. This is fantastic. I'm going to Well, should I wait? Maybe I should wait because you probably are gonna find this final thing useful, and maybe the deep research will finish. It's almost done. So this is good. We've got a proposal and 2 actual real live lead lists to see if there's value here. I'm gonna share. Yeah, let's get a little fancy doc going here. Yeah, let's use it in Claude. All right, I'm going to give you a handful of different links here, and I just want you to provide an artifact that has all of the various information. So the first ChatGPT link has really actual research about, like, basically it's just a link gathering ChatGPT session. The second link has deep research to find sort of perfect leads. And that is the one that ends in 726. And I'm actually going to copy and paste the whole thread there so you sort of understand everything. So I pasted the 726 thread, and that starts with template deep research prompt generator. I'm also going to paste all of the information from the first link here, and that begins with doc type HTML. So you have the actual chats. And then what I'm going to do is I'm also going to paste in the prospecting guide. I'm working on it right now. So what I pasted is the last version here. So, and I'll publish that. Oh, that URL's up and coming. That's the Medley, Texas Hospital Prospect Guide. I did not provide that URL to you, but I will once we create the first artifact. I am also going to provide the main document that you should be running against here, which is the Blueprint GTM playbook here. This is like what sort of runs it all. And I'm going to give you that link here. And that's the Claude link that ends in 6070. And then I have another Claude link. I pasted you the new information from the new report here, which has it actually has some like real leads in it too. And go ahead and create an artifact that provides all of this context for Medley. And think like a mobile responsive designer. I'm just doing this on the other screen here because there's just a bunch of stuff here. And let's go over the Claude piece and make sure that we might have to reshare that ChatGPT link, because if you share it before deep research is done, it is upset. All right, let's take a look. Okay, February 2024. This is nice. 3 remission issues, 3 safety issues. Access January 2025. Below average quality ratings and documented performance challenges. Amazing. Okay, great. Facility ID. Oh, maybe they released in January. Read remission measures worse than average 5. Safety measure 1. Investment in nursing excellence despite challenges. Oh, nice. New CNO. Potentially openness to new solutions. Oh, great. This is great. They actually quoted dates here. We have the LinkedIn profiles, the leadership page, which is helpful. This is probably everything that a rep needs to be able to go prospecting to this. I mean, I hate like innovative approach. The message is not. This message is terrible. I just wouldn't do this at all. And part of the reason that this is terrible, maybe I should. Well, I guess I should fix this message before providing it to them. So I'm going to pop into my projects, and this is the way it has kind of how I write. Extended thinking, and I have a style actually. Cold outbound. All I want you to do is redo the design with like the blueprint, like design principles. So you're gonna have to abstract from your memory. So I want this to kind of look like a blueprint proposal, but you don't have to do the PQS PVP explainer. Additionally, I want you to rewrite the messages like aligned with my cold outbound style, but more importantly, anchor against your project knowledge, and redo this artifact. So I just have a style that is kind of trained on my writing here, and I want to make sure if I give this to the customer or the the Jessica. That it is like something that I would be proud to send. We did a lot. Boy, we did a lot. And this is kind of what I am trying to build here. Right now I'm like bouncing between the models, but there is a lot of value in that. Great. It's going to import my colors here. Enter, love enter. Great font. Great font. All right, well, I think I'm going to end this here because, so just like let's sort of recap what we've done here. So what we did is we found some really interesting PVPs and PQSs based on Mimi Labs data and some other public data to identify who are those folks that are struggling. And also, I think we got to a place where you even could say how much money they're losing on fines or how much money they could make based on, I think there's some Medicaid payment there. Then what we did is once we had built the artifact that explained sort of what their AI go-to-market looked like, we developed a couple of deep research prompts. One was ChatGPT, just searching the public web. The other was using Claude in the MCP server to be able to query Mimi Labs. Now we have like 2 leads lists that are aligned with the proposal. And yeah, so that's kind of what I'm trying to identify. I haven't done a long video in a while, and I've been sick, but I'm feeling better. Ironically, I'm feeling better doing a healthcare brand. How funny. All right, I hope 42 minutes. I hope you got to the end, Jessica. And if not, I hope that you sent it to someone who worked for you that got to the end. Thanks so much for watching. I'm really grateful to have you all vibe with me. If you want access to the project, the type of my project is a little special, but I do have a secret project for people that buy the $1,000 course, Who to Target, What to Say. It's available only in the shared Slack channel. So you got to ping me on LinkedIn, and I generally am trying to cap this thing, but it is a benefit that I provide. So just send me a message, and I'll give you access to the Claude project. And if we've got room in the Slack channel, I'll invite you. Thanks. Thanks so much for watching. I know this was a wild one, and it's been a while since I've done one of these long ones. And yeah, I'm really grateful that you stick around. Bye.